Thomas Markle, he's due to turn 80 next year, and as we know, he's not been a well man recently, and indeed it was a brush with death just last year that renewed his plea for reconciliation.
I'm delighted to cross to Rosarito, Mexico, where we're joined by our friend Thomas Markle, the father of the Duchess of Sussex.
The narrative we have been fed for years by the Sussex PR machine is incredibly simple, beautifully tragic, and meticulously rehearsed. Meghan Markle, the modern independent princess, was brutally betrayed by her own father on the eve of her global fairy tale wedding. We were told Thomas Markle sold her out to the tabloids, broke her heart, and forced her to walk down the aisle alone. But what happens when the man who actually raised her, paid for her private education, and supported her entire early career, finally turns the stadium lights on? That exact story. The truth is a lot less like a fairy tale, and a lot more like a calculated, cold-blooded corporate extraction. Today, we are breaking down the biggest, most undeniable secrets Thomas Markle has exposed about his daughter and Prince Harry. Starting with the very foundation of their estrangement, the infamous paparazzi scandal, and the ultimate wedding discard, the royal abandonment, and the photo SCA. And understand the absolute cruelty of this situation. You have to go back to early 2018. Meghan Markle is about to marry into the British royal family. The global media frenzy is suffocating. And back in Mexico, living a quiet, retired life is Thomas Markle, a man who spent his entire career behind the cameras as a lighting director was suddenly thrust entirely unprepared in front of them. Thomas has gone on the record multiple times to explain exactly what happened during those chaotic weeks. He was being stalked day and night by relentless paparazzi. They were taking highly unflattering photos of him, buying groceries, grabbing fast food, and just trying to live his life. He was an elderly man completely under siege.
It felt like the perfect day to address a theory that many people out there have been speculating on, that Meghan Markle has lied about her age. Is she actually older?
I thought I have to get my side into this.
They got me interested in trying it out, and the first time out, it worked. I called, it doesn't work anymore, and there's no address I can write to, so I have no way of contacting my daughter. The royals owe me. Harry owes me. Meghan owes me. What I've been through, I should be rewarded for.
Did the palace PR machine step in to protect him? Did Meghan and Harry send their elite security to shield the father of the bride? According to Thomas, absolutely not. They left him entirely to fend for himself. Watch how independent royal commentators on YouTube expose the blatant hypocrisy of this exact moment, pointing out how Meghan and Harry constantly demand millions of dollars in security to protect themselves from the press, but couldn't be bothered to send a single bodyguard to protect. An elderly man being hunted by the global media, feeling desperate, humiliated, and completely abandoned by his daughter's new high-powered team. Thomas made a massive mistake. He listened to a British paparazzi agency that promised to help him reclaim his dignity by staging a few positive photos of him, reading a book about Britain, and getting fitted for a wedding suit. Thomas has openly, repeatedly admitted this was a foolish, naive error in judgment. He apologized profusely. But for Meghan, Thomas's mistake wasn't a family tragedy to be forgiven. It was the absolute perfect excuse. The cold-blooded discard and the cardiac SEO. Markle's fatal PR error gave Meghan the exact ammunition she needed.
To be honest with you, I love both my daughters. I'm not happy with what one of my daughters is doing. And I don't know what caused her to do this. We've had this conversation before. She's telling lies. I guess heartbroken. I'm very upset about it as well, because this is a cruel thing to do to our grandparent, not just me, to the King of England as well. You know, Harry and Meghan are living like hermits in a 26-room house. They don't have, they never have parties, they never have guests.
And not a surprise here, because yeah, she lies a lot about her stuff. We've caught her in so many lies. Her own sister has come forward, her family, everybody is exposing the lies that she's been telling.
To execute what many believe was her plan all along, to completely erase her working-class family from her new elite royal aesthetic. When the staged photos were exposed, the immense stress of the global humiliation caused Thomas to suffer a severe heart attack. He was literally lying in a hospital bed, terrified for his life, undergoing emergency surgery, and entirely unable to fly to London for the wedding. And how did the compassionate Meghan and Harry respond to a father in the cardiac ward? According to Thomas, Harry didn't call to gently check on his health. Instead, Harry allegedly called him while he was recovering from a heart attack just to scold him about the press. Thomas famously revealed that he actually had to hang up on Prince Harry because the sheer lack of human empathy was too much to bear. Listen to how news anchors react to Thomas's heartbreaking revelation on their podcasts, absolutely stunned by the cold. Surgical way Meghan and Harry disposed of a loving father
over the past couple of weeks, because your other daughter, Samantha Markle, a woman who you know I have a lot of respect for, and I've said publicly, and I will say it again because I know she's the subject at the moment of quite a vicious attack by the liberal American media.
So, if you go over on Google, is she lying about her age? It currently says August 4th, 1981, that she is 41. Well, she would be 42 today. But is this true?
You were to throw yourself on your estranged daughter's mercy. What single thing would you say to her?
It's not good for the kids. It's bad for the kids.
And if as a father...
The second he became a PR liability, Thomas exposed the darkest secret of the Sussex brand right then and there. Their compassion is entirely conditional. Meghan didn't just disinvite him, she completely, permanently ghosted him. After paying for her private schooling, funding her acting classes, and supporting her dreams for decades, Thomas was discarded because he no longer fit the glossy, high society image of a Hollywood princess. Thomas realized that to Meghan, family isn't about loyalty or blood. Family is just a casting choice, and his contract had just been permanently terminated. As Thomas Markle recovered from his heart attack, entirely exiled from his daughter's new royal life, he had to sit back and watch as the Sussex PR machine began rewriting history. Meghan wasn't just distancing herself.
In California, I can actually sue them, but I don't want to do that. And the other thing is, I've done nothing wrong. There's nothing that points to me and says I'm a bad guy. As a matter of fact, I'm a really loving father, and she knows that, and there's no excuse for her to treat me this way. No excuse to treat the king that way as well. It's really ridiculous. No excuse to.
A lot of people, though, say that Samantha Markle had since revealed Megsy's true age in her court documents as part of the defamation suit against her that's happening.
That story, I never have since it came out. The suicide.
She was actively erasing his contributions to her life to build her brand as a completely independent, self-made feminist icon. But Thomas wasn't going to let his reality be deleted without a fight. The Hollywood illusion and the college heresia pietas, one of the most foundational pillars of Meghan's early royal narrative, was her claim that she pulled herself up by her bootstraps. During royal tours and high-profile speeches, she confidently told audiences that she paid her own way through university, relying on scholarships, financial aid, and the income from odd jobs to afford her tuition at Northwestern University. It was a beautiful, inspiring story of a struggling student defying the odds to achieve greatness. It was also, according to Thomas Markle, entirely fabricated. Thomas exposed the dirty secret behind Meghan's self-made narrative by bringing out the actual receipts. He went to the press and revealed that he paid for every single penny of her private education. From her exclusive prep schools in Los Angeles, from kindergarten to high school, all the way to her incredibly expensive tuition, housing, and travel at Northwestern University. He funded it all. He even bankrolled her early acting career, ensuring she had everything she needed to succeed in a ruthless industry without ever having to worry about paying the rent.
And that she was 21 years old at the time of publication. That would make her birth year at around 1976. However, why is it saying here she was born 5 years later in 1981? Samantha Markle, to me, is the one that if she really confirmed it, and she did it under oath in court documents, there's nothing here to argue about it but the date.
Samantha Markle has never told me a lie. Every single thing that she has said about either you or Meghan has checked out factually. And she is now suing Meghan. You're prepared to testify for Samantha against Meghan? Is that correct?
That's the whole thing. The Scooby character gets information from
Odd little
Meghan,
man.
but
Odd little man.
it's all lies.
Watch how this independent, royal podcaster completely breaks down the financial receipts Thomas provided, exposing how Meghan deliberately erased her father's massive financial sacrifices just to make her own origin story sound more relatable and heroic to the public. Thomas was heartbroken not just by the lie, but by the utter lack of gratitude. He spent his life working grueling hours on television sets to give his daughter a life of extreme privilege, only to watch her stand on global stages and pretend she did it all on her own. He exposed the reality that Meghan didn't fight her way out of poverty. She was catapulted into the elite world entirely on her father's dime, and she thanked him by completely cutting him out of the script, the infamous letter, and the privacy. ICYPOCRIs, the public backlash against Meghan's treatment of her father grew. She needed a way to control the narrative and prove she was the loving, victimized daughter.
Birth certificates. Putting her full official name of Rachel Meghan Markle, you can see that the official records show she was born in 1981. There it is, August 4th, 1981.
So I think what's happened, she's 37 years old. She turned 37 in August. I think people are just waiting for her to get pregnant and looking for any clue that they can.
And we are looking for the clues because this blue dress,
It's a Jason Wu.
So, in August 2018, she wrote Thomas a highly emotional, 5-page handwritten letter. Months later, 5 of Meghan's friends mysteriously spoke to People magazine, bringing up the existence of this deeply private letter and claiming it was a heartfelt plea for her father to stop talking to the press. Thomas was painted as the villain, who was maliciously ignoring his desperate daughter. So, Thomas did the one thing Meghan reportedly never expected. He released the actual letter to the British media to defend himself. Meghan immediately sued the publisher for invasion of privacy, sparking a massive multi-year legal battle. But Thomas exposed the darkest secret behind that piece of paper. He revealed that the letter was never a genuine emotional attempt to heal their relationship. According to Thomas, the letter was cold, calculating, and read exactly like a legal document. More importantly, he exposed the massive hypocrisy of the entire situation. Thomas argued that Meghan only wrote the letter because she knew it would eventually be leaked. Listen to how this news commentator exposes the absolute hypocrisy of the Sussex privacy claims, analyzing how court documents later proved Meghan actually drafted that letter with the help of the Royal Communications Secretary. Fully aware that it could end up in the public domain, Thomas pulled the curtain back on Meghan's ultimate PR weapon. She weaponizes privacy when it suits her, but she meticulously orchestrates leaks when she needs to play the victim. He exposed that the letter wasn't a daughter reaching out to a heartbroken father. It was a carefully constructed piece of evidence designed to protect her brand and destroy his reputation. We are continuing our deep dive into the shocking, calculated truths Thomas Markle has brought to light about his daughter Meghan and Prince Harry.
Worried that Harry and Meghan might end up suing you for something you say, given you know they're very friendly with their lawyers, aren't they?
Well, they can sue me, but what are they going to get?
Samantha Markle has never told me a lie. Every single thing that she has said about either you or Meghan has checked out.
Meghan Markle is lying about her age. In fact, they think she's older.
So far, Thomas has exposed how his financial sacrifices were entirely erased to build Meghan's self-made myth, and how her supposedly emotional letter was actually a carefully drafted legal trap. But as we move into the next revelations, the Sussex PR strategy takes an even darker, more emotional turn. Thomas exposes how Meghan and Harry didn't just cut him off from their royal lives. They actively weaponized their own children and exposed the staggering hypocrisy of a prince who preaches to the world. About mental health, the weaponization of Archie and Ella B. tore years. Meghan and Harry have built a global brand entirely centered around the concepts of compassion, family healing, and breaking generational trauma. They go on podcasts and documentaries to talk about how deeply they love their children and how they want to protect them from toxic environments. But Thomas Markle exposed the devastating hypocrisy behind this glossy parenting brand. He revealed that despite his desperate public pleas, Meghan and Harry have completely barred him from ever meeting his own grandchildren. Thomas has suffered a massive heart attack and, more recently, a severe stroke that left him temporarily unable to speak, facing his own mortality.
Even though Meghan had let it be known she wanted a home birth, it was probably very realistic that her first child at 37, it was going to be born in hospital.
So at the time, Archie Mountbatten Windsor was born May 6, 2019.
He has gone on television to beg his daughter for just one chance to hold his grandchildren before he passes away. He has pointed out that Archie and Lilibet are being entirely deprived of an entire side of their family, all because of a PR grudge over a staged paparazzi photo from years ago. Watch how independent news anchors react to this heartbreaking situation, tearing into the Sussexes for their unbelievable cruelty and pointing out that true compassion does not involve denying an ailing grandfather the simple right to meet his grandchildren. Thomas exposed the reality that to Meghan, even her own children are treated as leverage. By refusing to let Thomas meet Archie and Lilibet, she isn't protecting her kids from a toxic threat. She is punishing an elderly man to maintain total control of her narrative. Thomas shattered their compassionate facade, proving that the Sussexes will preach about family unity on a global stage, while coldly enforcing a total family embargo behind closed doors. The ghost son-in-law and the mental health hypocrisy of the most bizarre and truly shocking secrets Thomas exposed is about Prince Harry himself. Harry is a man who demands the world listen to him speak. About mental health, he has produced entire television series about emotional intelligence.
Finally, at the document that everyone jumped on at the beginning, offending a little while back, here's a tweet from Jane Whittle, and it caused a stir because it showed the biography of Megxie where she described herself as Caucasian rather than biracial. Everyone took this document as being real. Well, if you think that, you need to keep the same energy for the rest of the information that is on here, including the date of her birth.
Which is ridiculous because if he's shutting down all of the people that have been going after Meghan, there won't be any Twitter left. I mean, he'll...
The importance of healing and confronting uncomfortable family dynamics. Yet, Thomas exposed a secret that completely invalidates Harry's entire mental health crusade. Prince Harry, a man who had all the time and resources in the world, has never once bothered to meet Thomas Markle in person. Think about the sheer arrogance of that. According to Thomas, Harry asked for Meghan's hand in marriage over a phone call. He didn't fly to Mexico. He didn't arrange a quiet meeting in Los Angeles. He didn't make a single effort to sit down, look his future father-in-law in the eye, and ask for his daughter's hand like a respectful man. Listen to how royal commentators break down this staggering revelation on their podcasts, exposing the massive hypocrisy of a prince who claims to be a champion of family healing, but who couldn't even be bothered to meet the man who raised his wife. Thomas exposed Harry not as a compassionate, evolved leader, but as a cowardly enabler. When Thomas was being hunted by the paparazzi, Harry didn't fly out to help him. When Thomas was in the hospital with a heart attack, Harry just scolded him over the phone. Thomas pulled the curtain back on the Duke of Sussex, revealing that for all his millions of dollars made preaching about mental health, Harry has shown absolutely zero emotional intelligence or human decency toward the elderly man whose daughter he married. But
indulge us a little bit here. Her mom, Doria, spending time with her in the UK. She was at Meghan's cookbook launch.
I can change your image, he said. The idea was that these would all be candid shots, discreet, no one would know they were posed or anything. It would be just me doing my routine daily.
Thomas Markle continued to watch the Sussex PR machine spin out of control from his quiet home in Mexico. He noticed another glaring, calculated shift in his daughter's narrative. Meghan was no longer just erasing his financial support. She was actively trying to rewrite her entire childhood to appear as a relatable, struggling victim of poverty. But Thomas, holding decades of family history, exposed this Hollywood script for exactly what it was: the Sizzler fabrication and the country. Club Aria Lightweight to build her image as a champion of the working class. Meghan Markle famously penned an open letter to the United States Congress to advocate for paid leave. In this highly publicized letter, she dramatically claimed she grew up struggling financially. She painted a bleak picture of her childhood, telling politicians that she had to eat at the budget-friendly Sizzler restaurants for $1.99 salad bar because her family simply could not afford anything else. She wanted the world to believe she knew the sting of genuine poverty. Thomas Markle completely shattered this calculated poverty myth. He was absolutely furious that his daughter would lie about her upbringing just to score political points. Thomas exposed the reality to the global press.
Apparently, I guess Meghan doesn't approve of him. I think it's an anything goes situation. I mean, if they're not happy with him, then don't do it. But I don't know that they'll follow through anyway. They haven't followed through on anything.
No.
They haven't done or accomplished anything.
Stating categorically that Meghan never went hungry and never struggled. He was a highly successful, Emmy Award-winning television lighting director, earning a very comfortable living. He pointed out that while they may have occasionally eaten at Sizzler, it wasn't out of desperation. Thomas revealed that Meghan was actually raised in the lap of luxury, attending the most exclusive private schools in Los Angeles, taking expensive tap and ballet lessons, and frequently dining at high-end restaurants like the Musso and Frank Grill in Hollywood. Watch how independent commentators on YouTube completely dismantle this poverty narrative, pulling up old photos and exposing the sheer arrogance of a woman who was handed a life of extreme privilege, only to turn around and cosplay as a poverty-stricken child to manipulate the public. Thomas exposed the deeply insulting nature of Meghan's lie. He worked grueling hours in television studios to ensure his daughter had the absolute best of everything.
We are hard on Meghan, but the reality is it's hard to trust her now because she said so much. So I can understand why people would jump on this, but this is a problem within this community. There are a lot of theories that people get really into and obsessed over, and we got to do our due diligence and make sure we call out the crazy.
By claiming she grew up struggling at the Sizzler salad bar, Meghan wasn't just lying to Congress. She was actively spitting on the immense financial sacrifices her father made to give her a beautiful life. As Meghan and Harry launched their relentless multi-million-dollar attacks on the British royal family, Thomas Markle exposed another glaring contradiction. Meghan claimed she knew absolutely nothing about the royals before meeting Harry, famously stating she didn't even Google him. She painted the institution as a toxic, archaic trap she naively stumbled into. He revealed that Meghan was absolutely obsessed with the royal family as a child. He exposed the fact that she had books about Princess Diana on her shelves, watched the royal wedding of Charles and Diana on repeat, and even posed for a highly publicized photo outside Buckingham Palace when she was just a teenager. She didn't stumble into the royal fold blindly. She had been fascinated by it her entire life. But what truly broke Thomas's heart was watching his daughter publicly trash the very institution she once admired, all while fiercely clinging to the royal title they gave her. Listen to how news anchors discuss Thomas's shock over this behavior on their podcasts, noting the sheer audacity of Meghan demanding the global respect of being called the Duchess of Sussex, while simultaneously dragging the Queen's legacy through the mud on American television. Thomas exposed the ultimate hypocrisy of his daughter's brand. He openly criticized Meghan and Harry for disrespecting Queen Elizabeth, stating that the royals had given Meghan a wedding and a platform most people could only dream of. He watched the daughter he raised to be polite and grateful transform into an arrogant opportunist who burns down historic institutions for Netflix views, all while refusing to let go of the royal perks. Thomas realized that the girl he raised in Hollywood had completely disappeared, replaced by a brand that runs on constant, manufactured grievances. We have reached the absolute climax of our deep dive into the shocking truths Thomas Markle has brought to light. We have seen him expose how his deep financial sacrifices were entirely erased, how his severe health crises were treated as mere PR liabilities, and how his own grandchildren have been used as tools for emotional leverage. But this final revelation is the absolute nail in the coffin for the Sussex narrative. This is the moment where Meghan's house of cards didn't just rattle. it completely collapsed under the weight of her own legal admissions, proving everything Thomas Markle had been saying from the very beginning for years. Meghan Markle fiercely maintained her total innocence regarding the media. She insisted she was an absolute victim of unauthorized biographies, malicious leaks, and a hostile British press. Her lawyers forcefully argued that she had absolutely no involvement with the highly sympathetic book Finding Freedom, which painted her as a flawless saint and her father as a deeply toxic betrayer. But Thomas Markle always insisted that his daughter was a master of PR orchestration. And in a stunning twist of legal fate, the truth finally came crashing out in a British court of appeal. The Sussex's former communications secretary, Jason Knauf, stepped forward with a treasure trove of evidence that completely blew Meghan's cover. He produced actual emails and text messages proving that Meghan had explicitly authorized and curated detailed briefing notes for the book's authors. She had meticulously supplied personal information about her family, her childhood, and her relationship with her father to ensure the narrative spun perfectly in her favor. When confronted with the undeniable digital receipts, Meghan was forced to do the most humiliating thing possible. She had to issue a formal written apology to the British court, admitting that she had completely forgotten she had authorized the briefings. Watch how independent people reveal, expose, and discuss this shocking legal backpedal on their podcasts and news channels. Independent YouTubers completely tore into this moment, pointing out the mathematical impossibility of forgetting that you meticulously orchestrated a briefing for a global biography. Markle was completely vindicated in front of the entire world. It was ultimate definitive proof that while Meghan was publicly crying about her privacy being invaded, she was privately working behind the scenes to leak curated information to destroy her own father's reputation. Thomas exposed the reality that the entire Sussex brand is built on calculated deception system, where privacy is used as a legal shield, and leaks are used as a corporate weapon. We close our deep dive with the overarching, devastating reality of how history will remember this family tragedy. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry left the royal family with an arrogance that suggested they were entirely too good for the traditional institution. They marketed themselves as global gurus of empathy, writing books, filming Netflix series, and launching podcasts designed to expose everyone else's flaws while highlighting their own supposed moral superiority. But by standing his ground and refusing to be silenced, Thomas Markle did something no royal protocol ever could. He completely stripped away their saintly veneer. Thomas exposed the terrifying truth that you cannot claim to heal the world when you leave a trail of broken family relationships in your own wake. He exposed the staggering cold reality of a daughter who could watch her own father survive a heart attack and a stroke and feel absolutely no urge to pick up the phone, simply because it doesn't align with her Hollywood brand. Today, watch how independent YouTubers and global commentators point out how the Sussex brand is actively crumbling under the weight of these exposures. The world has grown deeply exhausted by the endless lectures on compassion, coming from a couple that enforces a strict grandchildren embargo on an ailing elderly man. In the end, Thomas Markle didn't need a multi-million-dollar PR firm or a glossy Netflix documentary to win this war. He just needed the simple, unshakable truth. He proved that no matter how many millions of dollars you spend on Hollywood lighting and polished scripts, you can never truly hide the reality of a cold heart. Thomas Markle didn't destroy his daughter's fairy tale. He simply exposed that the princess was the villain all along.